searching for a new love, baby. A new love, baby. Let's go ahead and break this down, especially for those who are deaf, dumb, and refuse to open their mind. Sex between a male and a female, as far as biology is concerned, as far as procreation is concerned, is not something that is up to the male when it comes to law, right? Ultimately speaking, the responsibility of protecting oneself from unwanted pregnancy is the responsibility of both parties. The difference is each party has different levels of protection. So while he may have some form of a small point in saying, hey, I don't want these kids, well, I don't want a lot of things that we have to deal with as well. The problem is for me the lack of accountability. I don't know why this is so hard for people to get. If you are having sex and you are a male with a female, not only are you at risk for STI, STD, S stands for sexual and spiritual, you also are subjecting yourself to pregnancy every time you have sex, with a condom, without a condom, all of that.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live telling my story, speaking my truth, and a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied, because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about it. You're not gonna force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that's gonna have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with. Because you're gonna be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I done told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump offs. These are the type of women that I ain't even had to do nothing for. The bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them? Like, I don't even have no type of love for these women. How do they expect me to love these children? Before y'all say, oh, he irresponsible, he a deadbeat, he don't take accountability. Yeah, I do. I just don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna force these children on me when I told you I ain't want them. Yeah, I can offer to pay for abortion, but at what point can I force a woman to go get an abortion? I cannot. A woman say, my body, my choice, but I say, it's my life, my choice. Before y'all try to stitch this shit and be like, black men this, black men that, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I honestly just learned what a vasectomy was 3 days ago when I started speaking on this shit. But when I figure out what that is, I'm not doing that shit. Then they asking why not wear a condom? I have worn protection a lot of times. These are just the instance when I have not. And unfortunately, it has resulted into the woman being pregnant. But ask yourself and ask your friends as a woman, when is the last time that you told a man to put on a condom? Because I have never in my 27 years heard a woman request me to put a condom on. And me being an irresponsible man, knowing that that shit feel better raw, if I'm not gonna put a condom on, and if she not gonna ask me, it would not be no condom. And another thing, y'all keep saying, I don't think he's telling these women he's not going to be a father after he have sex and accidentally get them pregnant. Do that shit even matter? Do I have to tell a woman to be responsible for her body? Do I have to tell a woman to wait for a man to commit to her before she have unprotected sex with him? Or do I have to tell a woman wait till marriage before she gives a man access to her motherfucking body? It used to be a point in time where women actually valued their innocence, actually valued their virginity. But we do not live in that day-to-day, do we? Y'all want me to respect a woman's body more than she respected herself. So I, as a man, can prevent her from getting pregnant. Whatever a woman gonna allow me to do, I'm gonna do. Don't expect me to be irresponsible. Because if we both irresponsible, who's responsible for carrying the motherfucking child for 9 months? It sure ain't no goddamn man. It sure ain't me. I don't got no remorse. I don't feel bad. That woman knew what she was doing when she laid down and slept with me. She knew the consequences. She knew the risk. And don't be trying to be like, oh, it's women with low self-esteem. It's women that's ghetto or ratchet, or it's hood women. My 7 baby mamas. And I don't even know why I claim them, just because it became a conversation. But some of them rich, some of them poor, some of them classy, some of them ratchet. Some got regular ass jobs, some got great jobs. So it's a woman on all levels that'll fuck with a nigga like me. And don't even try to speak on morals and respect, because we don't have the same definition of morals and respect. Stop trying to tell people they gotta hold me accountable, or people like me accountable. The only person that can hold me accountable is my motherfucking self. Stop expecting men or women to come talk to me. I'm a grown ass man. I ain't gonna listen to shit you gotta say. And trust me, y'all think women gonna hear me talk and then stay away from me. They still gonna get this 8.5, trust me. So I do not feel motherfucking bad. I'm the most honest individual you'll fucking meet. I do not have to manipulate no woman for no pussy, trust me.
5,000. Block on lock, the trunk stay locked. Glock on cock, the block stay high.
Bye.
Break it down. Here we go, my friend.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Wait, I just got paid, make it rain, energy.
Ain't this my son? Ain't this my moon? Ain't this my world to be through my children?
Get away from my windshield! Trying to wash my windows with that old dirty water. You know you can see, girl. You should have listened when your mother told you to get an education. I got my education.
Ain't trying to hurt nobody. Trying to bring the life up in your body.
You may have the legal right. Now, I don't know how the legalities would work if they just don't want to be involved, if they're still financially obligated, if they have to sign away rights, and if the parent, if that somehow absolves them of any financial duties. Now, granted, you're absolutely correct. You do not have to be involved in that child's life. Where you have to have involvement is financially. Now, one could argue that a lot of women, females, must take better. Quite honestly, just based upon how he speaks and how he talked, I would imagine most of these women are low self-esteem. Just because you have a good paying job doesn't mean you don't have, there are millionaires who are fucked up in the head. So it would just seem to me that this would not be a good candidate for fatherhood. And so as a male, unfortunately, you don't have the final say. You have an input. Absolutely. I think that is fair. But ultimately, that decision to terminate or carry to term does lie within the female. You may not want an emotional attachment to this child, but you definitely have a financial one. So if you're not prepared to make those concessions and accept that level of responsibility, then perhaps you should be doing all you can do to prevent childbirth. And then it's the arrogance of I didn't pull out and I offered to pay for them to. I think there's some damaging concern with having an abortion and the plan B and stuff like that. So that's why some females opt out of it. But let me give some of the females some stuff too. A lot of y'all have kids with bums, dummies, just the lowest of the low. Because you yourself are probably low and don't realize it. But even if you are in that situation, no one, your elders and community failed to teach you the power that you have. You can be the brokest of the broke, the ugliest of the ugliest, but you have a power when it comes to procreation. And for him to be in that situation, this means you're not, I don't know, I would love to see each of these 7 women to really delve deeper into how the hell you put yourself through this. Now, personally speaking, no, I wouldn't subject my child to so many things. I also would have the onus to say, look, if you are a female in modern time, if any picture or facet of you being a single mother bothers you, concerns you, would upset you, then my advice would be to not have children. And if you do have children, be in a financial situation where you do not have any need, burden, reliance on that father financially or the government. You are in a high-paying position where his income don't even matter if he was going to be a father or not, and you have the emotional maturity to raise another human being. Because for me, it's not about the quantity or type of parent, but it's the quality of parent. And this is evidentiary in the fact that you have, for every example of people trying to say what the perfect recipe is, a 2-parent household, those same 2-parent households raise the same dusty, dingy bandits. So it's not so much how many parents are involved, what type of parents are involved, but it's the quality of those people raising this other human being. That is the root issue there. So if you're a piss poor parent, no matter how many of you is around. So, and if you are, maybe you're not in a financial means to provide for another life on your own completely, prepayment. You want to get me pregnant? I need my money up front. I need enough money up front for at least 18 years. And if you can't give me that, I can't give you a kid. Because a lot of you are, oops, I'm pregnant. And yes, he's dusty. And what my biggest issue is a lot of his argument was one-sided. It was very much the woman's responsibility, the female's responsibility after he got her pregnant. Men create single mothers. And the reality is, I just, how do you, I can't even, just listen to him speak. There's just no way. There's no way. There's just no way. So, I can't even get the words out. This is crazy to me. And this mindset, believe it or not, to some level, is shared amongst most of these males. They don't even see you as a person. They see you as an object. Women are an object. Females are an object. You're not an individual person to most of them. You are access to sex. You are beards. You are something a toy to pick up and flaunt on Instagram. amongst their friends. They tolerate you if you meet their beauty mode. But at the end of the day, and I don't care about the exceptions. I'm talking about the reality, and the reality is this is the mindset of most of them. Quite honestly, I don't know why anyone's sleeping with them. I don't know why anyone's procreating with them. It should be such a drought out here. Y'all shouldn't even be getting wet for them. Get you a toy. Learn how to pleasure yourself. I just do not get it. It's like, you don't, but then the same dusty women or dusty guys, there's dusty women. So that's their dating pool. So it's like they have access to something because it's always someone lower or as low as them. I think males need to take a responsibility here. You can't sleep around. You can't go around reckless with your semen, impregnating females, and then putting it all on them saying, well, I told her I didn't want one. Females, if you are completely against the idea of abortion, plan B, then you shouldn't even know what casual sex is, because again, sex brings risk. And if you can't afford those risks, you have no business having sex. So you may not want to procreate with her, but I don't know that absolves you of your responsibilities. Because again, it's kind of stupid. Like, going into the situation, she has more rights than you because she's the one carrying the child. But you nut in her, don't practice safe sex, you have multiple sexual partners, and somehow, because they decided to keep the pregnancy, and we don't know the circumstances surrounding each of those pregnancies, I just think males have to take accountability at the end of the day, because she didn't get herself pregnant. And again, if you know they have the final say, then why are you out here so reckless with your penis, your 8.5? I don't know. It's hard to really accept that what he said was. It's disgusting. It just feels disgusting. It's a lack of responsibility and accountability. Yes, he can say all day that he told them and he didn't want them. Ultimately, this is a result of his behavior, his action. It takes two to tango. As far as them both being irresponsible, last I checked, you nutted in her. You didn't wear a condom. Yeah, you offered these things. Again, so what this should tell males is women have the final say. Females have the final say in what goes on in their body. And you have that saying too. You decided to nut in her. So, okay, so now it's like ping pong. You pass the ball to her. It's what she decided to do. Now your level of involvement, you have a say in that. Yeah, I agree with that. It's disrespectful to your children. I would love to know what his upbringing was like with his parents, because I couldn't imagine this being my child having this type of irresponsible mindset, even if in some weird way him saying he didn't want kids was an easy way to end the situation, and they just stubbornly chose to go on without his support. Again, affordability. If I'm out here being reckless, I need to be able to afford the kind. Just like if he was to contract an STD, you need the wherewithal and the means to remedy that. So pregnancy is no different. People want to talk about the HIV rate and STDs. What about the pregnancy rate? Why don't we talk about that? And it starts with the mind of females, because if females Y'all see these dudes. Young, old, it don't matter. And it's not even the word vetting. It's just some fact, why the hell would I want a baby from you? Why would I want to sleep with you? Then you've got stealthing, and then the flip side is you've got guys who are somehow getting off on this. Lying, cutting holes in the condom, trapping you with, listen. It's so dusty out here. I don't know how any female is wasting her time. Even a little bit. If there's nothing tangible to offset that presence of that bum, I see it. Go on into these dating apps and just listen to the lives. Look at the quality of women that are speaking, how they carry themselves. Look at the males they're uplifting. Look at the males they are vying for attention from and having kids with. There's equal blame on both sides. The issue I have is males then turn around saying they're leaders, then turn around saying they're this fictitious, non-existent alpha male in humanities, which doesn't exist. This, I'm leaders of my community. Where? If you're the leader, then you take accountability for all that goes on. When your team is successful, when your team is not successful. It's a catch-22, but I don't care what type of women or what is being offered. There's something in the milk is not clean. If you are a 27-year-old male with 7 children and your argument is you told them what you didn't want after you got them pregnant. It's almost like passing the ball. You decided to nut in them, or not even nut in them. You just, because let's say they both had protection, etc. I don't know that it's foolproof. You still can turn her pregnant. So that's another reason why I don't necessarily think casual sex is a smart idea, especially if you don't have the means to provide. But y'all want to be grown. You think you know everything. And then the way he talked about the women as far as jump off this, even again, the irresponsibility can be said on both parts from what he's saying. We haven't heard from any of these women that I know of. But the argument that basically I'm irresponsible, you're irresponsible, but since you got pregnant, I'm telling you this, and you decided, I don't know, there's something about that doesn't sit right with me. Especially for it to happen this many times. And him to just basically share it like So let's go with the fact that they're hooking up and having raw sex or protected sex, whatever, and it results in a pregnancy. And depending on when she finds out, maybe I don't know. I don't think. Now, I will say, independent of this situation, if you are a female and you are apprehensive to abortion, then you shouldn't be having casual sex. You should be in healthy relationships with a provider. If he ain't doing right by you, why would he do right by his children? If you gotta go through, there's little signs that show you who a person are. So, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change. I think also some guys are clever at hiding their true self. Some people don't have wisdom, discernment, all those different, it's too many variables, right? So when you can find solutions that are more foolproof. Personally, I think females need to abstain from sex with other males who are not qualified to raise children, and they need to have sex with themselves. If you are open to birth control, that is an option as well if you want to explore your sexuality more freely. Ultimately speaking, if you are against abortion, which would be the end-all be-all to rid yourself of unwanted pregnancy, and that is a concern for you, then you probably shouldn't be out here like that with any of them. if you are a woman who's got an education, a career, and she's looking to become a family, because again, see my initial point, I have plenty of examples of this so-called male, you need a father. No, you don't. You need a good parent. You need a good community. You need good leaders. You need good energy around you. You're going to be who you're going to be. You don't have to be. I don't believe that whole. You want to talk to your male son about, take him to the damn doctor, and they'll teach them how whatever you may not be able to talk about, but teach them to be a good person, responsible, mature, self-caring, respectful. You don't have to get that necessarily directly from a man. It's the quality of what you're given and how you're giving it and how you receive it. So let's say you're an accomplished woman and you are just not having any good luck with finding a viable man. Because our thing is this, until both sides start looking at it the same way and separating being parents from romantic feelings, you're going to always have this conundrum. Always. I wouldn't want to procreate with someone who doesn't share the same foundation and ideals for me when it comes to being a parent. I wouldn't set myself up like that or my child. So one of my solutions was, if I'm a single woman and I'm ready to be a mother and raise a fabulous child, I've got my own money, I've got my own career, I don't need this father to waste my time. The chances are, especially with heterosexual males, there's this level of attachment. And I'm sure there are probably already examples of this out there where two people just decided to have a kid together versus be in a relationship with each other. And I think that is a better approach, because you're removing emotional. What the fuck is emotional? You're removing emotional attachment, and you have decided consciously to come together to raise a great person. And that to me will be the better approach. If you don't find that in a heterosexual male, I mean, his sexual orientation really shouldn't make a difference, but there are a lot of successful gay guys who also want to be fathers, and I would take my chances with them. At least I know he's going to be a father. I ain't got to worry about him lying, cheating, stealing. He don't love me. I want to get married and flash my wing on Instagram. All that shit go out the window. He got a career. He all the great things you're looking for in a father. Second, if you have an issue, I saw this is another thing. This guy was talking about his relationship had just ended after, he called it a 10-year bid. He's 32, 33. 3 kids by someone. I don't know. I don't know if she's black. I don't know, but there's a response like, I believe she may not be fully black, biracial, white, something. Anyways, regardless of her orientation. Long story short, they're not married. If we're married, he claims he was going to marry her. I'm like, well, you think after 3 kids, you know you want to marry someone, right? But anyways, he called Zaya Wade a it. And anytime you can refer to a person as a it, I have that's concerning for me. So I say that to say, he then went on to say if his son was something he would not have. Listen, if your child, you don't raise an orientation, you don't alter an orientation. You may try to do things to hinder it. Nature always wins. What you're wired at is what you're going to be. What that looks like can be a combination of different things, but the core, you are who you are. And if I had any issues with my child having an alternative sexual orientation, and I say alternative in the sense of anything non-hetero, If that bothers me, if that would bother me, if that would make me uncomfortable, I don't need to be a parent. And that's okay with that. I don't know why people feel entitled to be procreation. Most of you are doing nothing but making wage slaves. You yourself don't have anything of value to offer. Not in terms of generation. And love don't pay the bills. Love don't. Why are you bringing these children into this chaotic, wicked world? For what? Just so you can love yourself. And no, you can't. You can't prepare for every little thing, but for most of the things that y'all are experiencing that are negative, you could have avoided. The signs were there. The planning wasn't there. You also spend more time putting on wigs and shopping for clothes than you do for deciding who you're going to lay with and get pregnant by. So if you are a woman who's female, who is having fun sexually, and if abortion is off the table, you setting yourself up for failure, because these bandits ain't got shit. Ethically, morally, financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you are setting you and your child up for failure. That's number one. So because you can't predict all that shit, I'll regain my power. I'm not getting pregnant by no bum. I'm not sleeping with a bum. Especially if I don't want to go through abortions and pills or birth control. No. And he also pointed out, not in his 27 years, even though he wasn't having sex all 27 years of his life, unless he's older and he's counting the years he's been active anyways. No one's why does a woman need to? He's the same type of man who will say, you didn't ask me if I had HIV. That's dangerous. He has a very dangerous mind. Because next is going to be he had STDs, and because they didn't ask, he didn't have to tell them. But he knew. Right? So it would just seem to me, if I'm a male who don't want children, then he said he didn't know what a vasectomy was. Again, y'all dealing with dummies. How do you not know what a vasectomy is, but you out here laying low, spreading it wide? Condom, no condom. Putting all that responsibility on the female. And these are your kings. These are the men you are dying on the hill for. I would argue that a lot of women who are saying he was right had gone through poor parenting experiences with males. So of course they're looking at it from an obscured view. And independent of all the lack. So if you listen to the whole argument and listen to the context clues, you see the fault he has in this. But independent of those context clues, he would be right. We got pregnant, I told you I don't want a kid. And you chose to have him anyways. The recklessness comes in when he says he's on child number 7. The recklessness comes in how he speaks of these women. How he didn't pull out and he could have. How he didn't wear condoms. And how everything is all on her. And if you know that, then you as a male need to move differently to avoid unwanted pregnancy. Both parties are irresponsible, absolutely. The issue is, again, it's never going to be a 50-50 because women carry the children. So males need to move differently when they're being sexually promiscuous, because just like you can get an STD, STI, you can also get pregnancy. So if you don't want pregnancy and you really don't have a say in the completion of said pregnancy, personally speaking, you did the crime, do the time. That's just, I don't know how you can be detached from your own offspring. And I don't know that we can separate the lack of relationship and still be financially obligated, because I do believe that if a paternity is established, then yes, then you have financial obligation. I don't know if them signing over their rights absolves them. I think it may vary state to state. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure on that. I will say this: those of the out of those 7 women, if they did have the opportunity to terminate, they definitely should have terminated. I don't know how any. But and what's really concerning is this mindset, whether it's dialed down slightly or elevated, increased. This is the root. This is the mindset of most males, especially toxic, these so-called straight ones. And straight people make kids, not gay people. Let's start there. Oh, let me dial that back. Not straight people. Heterosexual sex creates people, because you could be gay and still have gay sex, straight sex. Oh, I just, and then you have, even if the bomb is dumb or you felt how you felt, god damn, you gonna do this to your kids. It's bad enough you went in their life. You just had to, it's just a lack of all. I don't know. I think there's 50-50 accountability on that. And unfortunately, you got her pregnant. So now you pass the ball to her. What she decides to do, you got to man up and live with it. I don't think men get that. If you don't want to give away that power, then you need to control your sperm. Just as she was reckless and mismanaged their wombs, you are reckless and mismanaged your seeds, your fertilization. But that whole, they don't want to ask me to put a condom on, I don't know if that's true. But I also would ponder, well, why did you wear a condom with this person and not with that person? Because you wanted to at least attempt to prevent pregnancy with this woman, but that one you didn't care. A lot of these guys knock y'all up just to say they did it, and y'all let them every time. I be seeing some of the dumbest shit. Again, create a profile on these so-called dating apps and go on these live streams and just listen to how these people think, both male and female, and you will see why the community looks the way it looks. Dusty on both parts. But again, if males are supposed to lead, which I don't agree with, then the woman's involvement is irrelevant at this point, because it ultimately will fall back on you. But and like someone said, it's gonna be child number 8 soon. Someone's gonna care. Oh, I didn't know. Bitch, you knew. So let's walk through this. You got someone pregnant. You offered abortion, and they say no. You say you don't want to be involved. I can't give them power and then say that. It was just he was arrogant. I don't know. I just put my kid through this. I don't get it. I don't get y'all. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's be such a decline right now and a drought. But again, you've got equally yoked, delusional, they ain't done the work, they don't know their worth, and they're sleeping with these bandits. If you think of no one else, at least think of your children. Stop giving undeserving males the right to your womb. And only you know what kind of person. If you want to have sex and be out there, then I think abortion should be on the table and birth control should be on the table. I would not advise any female in this day and age to procreate if they are not completely independent of the government as far as financial. You don't need welfare to raise your children. You shouldn't want welfare to raise your children. Nor the male, because they can turn on you at any moment. So if any picturesque image of you becoming a single mother would be an issue for you, then then motherhood isn't for you, and that's okay. Whether the father becomes indigent, abusive, reveals their true colors, they pass away, whatever. If any picture of you doing on your own bothers you financially, you can't afford it, then don't have kids. That's just my biggest advice. Stop having children. Stop putting yourself in situations to become, oops, I'm pregnant. Avoid males like him. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, while independent of his actions, he may have a point. The responsibility comes from manhood. And if you make a child, I don't care if you didn't want the child is here. It's no different than, and that's another point I want to bring up too. It's no different than, just as easily as he was out here sleeping around, she could have been out here sleeping around. So she could have been pregnant and not know who the father was. And that's, the whole double-edged. And I've always stood by this, and I don't care who agrees with me or not. Two people can't have sex and only one hoe be present. Even in a paying situation, you just a paid hoe. You paid her, you a hoe too. How can you call her a hoe and you separate? You a hoe too then. If she a hoe, you a hoe. I've always thought that. They crack me up talking about, yeah, she was a jump off or a hoe. What are you? Just as easy as you claim you got her, she got you too. It's not one-sided here. Then it's also, they don't say, the silent part is, they've already assessed you and put you in that category before you even decided to lay with them or not. So when you don't acquiesce to their demands or respond how they want you to, that's when you become a bitch. She difficult, she thinks she all that, blah, 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 blah. Because he already puts you in the category of, I'm just going to sleep with you and I'm not going to put no work in. But when you have standards, now he thinks you shouldn't have those standards. But if you were not to have those standards and he still got you, he's still going to turn around and say he was on you and you a hoe or whatever. Because the ones he wants to court and show respect to are preferences, or the ones they deem worthy of it, whether they have standards or not. So don't let these people fool you. He already made in his mind what he willing to do for you before you had a standard or not. I wish they would be more honest. So, just because she come up pregnant, if she's out here being just as, sexually free as you, maybe she didn't know you were the father. Maybe she thought she was going to abort. That's the same. Again, men prepare. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation and not consider all outcomes. How bad do I want to have sex with you? How bad do I not want to quote unquote pull out? As if that is, and that's been disproven. How many times that you can still get pregnant from that dumb shit? So if I don't want to be a father, I'm going to make that very clear. If I'm not wearing condoms, I'm getting a vasectomy. I'm going to limit myself with who I have sex with and how we have sex. I'm wearing condoms, they're taking a pill or whatever their birth control method is. They're not against abortion. I will do everything in my power to ensure that I'm not putting myself in that situation. In knowing that if shit changes, I'm still on the hook for this kid because this kid didn't ask to be born. Period. I don't know how you escape that. Knowing all that, and knowing that women have the final say with their bodies since they're the ones carrying the child, I would just move differently. And it would suck. And yes, it would suck if you, let's say you were, you were up front saying I just want casual sex. I don't want to be a father. If you get pregnant, I don't want you to carry or keep it. How do you feel about abortion? Would you get an abortion? Are you also on birth control? Because that ain't 100%. Like, I'll do all those different things. But let's be real. You ever go on Twitter and see these so-called content creators? That seems to be the new thing now. So many of them are just in and out of everything raw. It's disgusting. Listen, teach his own. I just think both sides have issues and need to address themselves and look from within. But it's women who are getting stuck holding the bag. So your behavior needs to cover all potential outcomes. If you are a female and you are counting on a man to be a father, you should become a mother. If you are counting on a man to provide financial support, you should become a mother. And if you are not in a position where you know you can provide financially on your own without the assistance of the government for a child, then these people, they need to prepay you. When these millionaires want to get you, I need the money up front. No, I don't need you. No. Prepay me to birth your child. I need at least 18 years of money to make sure they all right. If you can't give me that, then I can't give you a child. It's just that simple. Because you're not going to have me on here looking crazy trying to get you to do the right thing. Nah. Prepay me. I can do it on my own. Or I'm not doing it at all. Y'all too flaky. My kids don't deserve this. I don't deserve this stress. No. Hell no. And please think of your children. If nothing, you got nothing from these videos and him talking. Think of your children if you won't at least think of yourself.